$400 million is a lot of money to make a video game. In fact, some might say it's too much money. To be fair though, Concord was in development for 8 years. But still, that's a lot of money to risk on unknown IPs and characters. And it kind of dawned on me, like, why didn't Sony just try to use their own original IPs from other games? I think it would have been really cool to experience a Battlefield with the likes of Kratos, Nathan Drake, Ratchet and Clank, shoot, even Sora, even the Kingdom Hearts characters. That would have been so cool to witness. Same thing with the Final Fantasy. I feel like a Battlefield with them would have been so dope. Basically what Marvel Rivals is. With Marvel characters, Sony could have done that with their own gaming IPs. And it necessarily doesn't need to be a Overwatch 2 clone. It could be in like an extraction game, battle royale, whatever. At least modes that I think are a little bit more popular. I know Sony kind of did this with a platformers, but that didn't really do too well. And I think platformers are just fighting games in general. For most gamers, treat them as party games rather than something that they want to invest hours a day on. But that's just my opinion. Of course, if you're going to introduce these ideas, making it a third person wouldn't be such a bad idea. You know, when it comes to third person PvP shooters, the only one that comes off the top of my head is Fortnite as a popular choice. Maybe Space Marines, but I feel like people play Space Marines mainly for its story rather for its PvP action, right? Because at the end of the day, $400 million is a lot. You could do so much with that money. Shoot, imagine if the Spielberg developers had that kind of dough. They probably would have made the MMO that they always wanted to do. And this is just me Googling stuff. Apparently Lost Ark cost $85 million to make, which is also an MMO. So if they could have done that with an $85 million budget, I can only imagine what other companies and development teams could have done with that kind of cash flow. Especially when you're trying to charge an audience $40 for a PvP shooter in the year 2024. Now, don't get me wrong, I like original characters, I like original stories, if there is such thing as original stories. But I've already noticed this in movies and TVs that people love nostalgia. And companies know this too, which is why we get so many remakes and sequels to franchises that probably don't need them, but we're still glad that they exist because it's enjoyable. But I feel like there is a way to combine both original IPs and stories with new ones. And Kingdom Hearts is definitely one of those franchises that I feel like combines the two pretty well, where they use old Disney stories and they introduce new characters like Sora, Roxas, and all the other casts from Kingdom Hearts. Shoot, they even included characters from Final Fantasy. I haven't played any of the Final Fantasy games, but till this day, I am still scared and terrified of Sephiroth. And I still think Cloud is one of the coolest looking characters ever just because of my time with Kingdom Hearts. Shoot, you can even look at Ready Player One. That was a movie that had original characters, somewhat of an original story as well, but they had so many other franchises and in that movie, and people loved it. I still remember that time when the guy summoned Gundam. That was sick. It had the whole crowd, at least in my theater, cheering hard for. Which is why I think it would have been so cool to see these exclusive Sony IP characters together in an environment. And if the game really picked up, those new characters could have their own action adventure stories in a PvE setting. But yeah, you guys let me know down below if you guys prefer the idea of Sony mixing together new and old IPs together as a game, similar to Marvel Rivals or Kingdom Hearts. Stay safe, be a KDA warrior, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.